Okay guys, welcome back to the channel here. We're over in the garage today testing out the Creality Falcon A1. This company had reached out and sent us this unit here. We're trying to get through some of the software into things. It's been a big learning curve for Elijah, not me. I'm not computer savvy at all, but we wanted to get some of these cool things out here to you guys. Like, we've got some of these keychains now that we have the vending machine at the lot. We want to kind of get creative and get some of these things made up. He's got some really cool things that he's put together here. But this company sent us this machine, told us to try it out, let us know what we think of the software. It's been crazy.
It has been. A little bit of a learning curve for me. I used to be really big into 3D printing, so I thought it wouldn't be too much of a learning curve, but it definitely is. So when they first sent it, obviously it comes in great big box.
It's huge.
Yes, you get your main machine and all different kinds of bits and bobs that come with it. So you have this little machine over here is going to be to pump air into the machine to keep it cool. It does emit a little bit of smoke while it's burning, obviously, if you're doing wood or metal or things like that. So you do have an exhaust that runs out. Obviously for us, we did put it in the garage so that it will pump it straight out the front of the garage. But if you do put it in a room at home, you can pump it straight out the window. So that makes it super nice. They also do sell an attachment for it. It's kind of like a smoke neuralizer that actually runs the smoke through another machine and then out the window, so keeps kind of the smell down in the house. We do ours in the garage though, because that's what works best for us. They also sent us a couple different boxes of different colored wood to try to test things out with, but it did take me a little while to get used to the program and the software. It is a little bit different. Thankfully, with Kristen's help, we were able to get some files that were properly downloadable to put into this. And we were able to make a few keychains and kind of test out here. These are the wood box, or the pieces of wood. So they sent us a couple different things. So they come like this, just a 12 by 12 piece of wood. And then what you do with those is you take them and you open the front door here, and you can load them straight into the machine like so.
It's been a bit of a learning curve.
Yes.
We were talking about, we weren't sure why they didn't send, the mat that goes under this sheet that Elijah just showed you, placing that in there. I guess things would be better if they were more stationary and weren't moving around. We had he'd had a couple of test burns that he had done on it, and but like I said, we've got a lot of these that we've tried, and
I think we're starting to hone in on it here. So it's so far with all the test stuff that I've done, and like Jeff showed you, I did the little fox face just to kind of see how the actual engraving works, and then obviously you can do the cuts, so it'll cut things out like we did with the keychain. So we're working on a couple different designs and things like that to try to bring you guys some cool stuff. You want to do a test run and see?
Yeah, we could do it.
Kind of show you guys how it works.
It's like I said, this stuff here, you've got to be pretty computer savvy to do this stuff. Kristen's made a lot of things in the past. She's done all our decals for the tow trucks. She's done logos. She used to do the dog clothes thing. So she's been around this program stuff for a very long time. For all my people out there that do some of these programs and make stickers, you could probably jump right into this and be pretty close to where you need to be. But just keep in mind that there's a lot that you have to learn. There's placements and things like that, but it does come with a lot of programs. Elijah was saying that you could simply click on things that other people have made, and you could just simply upload that to the machine and make a lot of cool things that somebody else has done a lot of the legwork on. So it's not really bad on that end of it, but if you did get into something that you wanted to custom make, like our keychains and things like that, it does take quite a bit of stuff.
And skill. Yeah. I'm good with kind of putting this stuff together and making it work. I'm not as tech savvy on the art side of things, but I'm hoping to get better at that so we can still get you guys some cool things out there.
This was the 10-watt machine, is what Elijah was saying. They do have a 20-watt, was it?
They have a 22, so they have the Falcon A1, which is this one, then they have the Falcon A1 Pro. I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe it's a little bit bigger. It has a higher powered laser on it, so you can kind of cut more things. where your 10 watt laser is going to be a little more limited on some materials or hardness of materials. Now, when you go online and look at it, I mean, it says that it will do, you know, acrylics and wood and stone and metal and aluminum and all kinds of things like that. So they also have all different kinds of attachments for, you know, cups. They have rotators, so you can, you know, engrave glass and wine glasses and some really cool things like that, which we have not gotten into, but maybe in the future.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe. We've got a lot of our YouTube family out there that have sent us some really cool things. I know some of my water bottles that you guys have sent to me have been really cool. It was just kind of a coincidental thing that we ran into this company that said, hey, we're going to send you this thing to try this thing out. You know, kind of at the same time we were thinking about things that could go into the vending machine that you guys might be able to swing by and grab. So we are excited about that stuff. Comment down below on things that you might want us to try and get in the vending machine, and maybe by then we'll be closer to knowing how this thing really works. There's been a ton of things. I know he said there was a camera on it.
Yeah, there's a camera I haven't really quite figured out yet. So you're supposed to be able to view the camera on here while it's burning, so you can watch kind of the progress of it. I believe there's a phone app as well. I don't know. I haven't really looked into that part as well, or so far. But you're supposed to be able to watch the camera as it's burning, to kind of see where your progress and things like that is, which I think is kind of cool. There's a lot of people that do craft pages and things like that can use it for content on their stuff. So that was really neat. So far, I've been able to do a couple of the keychains and some cool stuff, and we'll keep on learning and getting better. And
we just thought that this was a really cool thing that you know, we might be able to get you guys some personalized things in our vending machine or on our website there for you guys to kind of go through. But it has been a huge learning curve as far as getting where we need to be. But like I said, some of you guys at home that do this stuff already, it might be really easy. But we might see if we can maybe cut them something and see if...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll see what that looks like.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I don't think I mentioned it, the setup of this thing was actually fairly easy. It comes out just like it is. You plug a couple things in here on the side, you put your exhaust on, and the only part that was kind of challenging, for lack of a better word, would be adjusting the height of the laser. But they give you a really cool tool. So you put the tool underneath your laser, and it tells you kind of you know, how thick of a material you're using, and it kind of tells you exactly where the laser needs to be, so it makes it simple on that part as well. So
kind of like a laser depth finder, I guess. So it looks like a set of stairs.
Yeah, learning how to do and make and craft and things like that on the computer is definitely the hardest part.
That is the hardest part. Yeah. If you guys have ever messed with any of these programs, there's so many buttons that will move things, make things bigger, make things go away, stagger things, knowing what to cut out and what to leave. It's a learning curve, but if you guys got a little bit of time where you can play around with the different things, and always keep in mind that there is a back button. We were talking about that earlier.
Yes.
Thank God for back buttons. So if you totally mess all that stuff up, you can go back and
just completely undo whatever you messed up, and it goes right back to how it was. So which does come in very handy. So, well, let's I think it actually doesn't take very long to cut some things. Obviously, this is my first time doing a
multiple
larger burn. So far, I've only done 1 or 2 keychains at a time.
Simple cuts.
Yeah, we're going to attempt to do 9 and kind of see how that works. So just save time, things like that. On the smaller keychains, when you do just one, I think it was about 2.5, 3 minutes to burn and get done. This is showing it's going to take about 11 minutes, so we can probably start it up and give you guys a little...
See if we can destroy the whole machine. Yeah. We're going to burn the whole thing down.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Great.
So to turn this thing on, it's super easy. You make sure your emergency shut-off is on. It has a little key on the side, so it's like you're starting a car. You just hit that button, and it'll turn on, lights up.
I think it's Hemi powered.
Yes. And then we'll close the lid, because it will not work if the lid is on. If you look down here, I don't know if you guys can see my screen or not, but it does show what device it's connected to. So when you start it up, it will automatically connect to your screen here, or to your computer. And then from here, once you have everything in where you want it on the piece of wood and where it's going to burn, you just hit your start button, and it should load up and start going. And I don't know if you guys can see. I see if Jeff can get the camera a little closer, but you can see it just goes. It's super cool.
Yeah, just does its own little thing. yeah, we're hoping this will work out, and we can get better with designs, and it's always exciting to be able to do our own logos and our own little things that we can kind of make here. So that's really cool. It does. And Elijah was saying that he was surprised because he goofed up and reached in there after it was done and thought that laser would be hot. And he'd actually said that no, it wasn't.
It wasn't. Now I had only done a small burn, so it was only one thing. So I would say after this it might be a little warmer, but the one I did, yeah, I wasn't thinking, and it was when I first set it up, and that was my first test run, and the laser wasn't burning how I needed it to, and it was really light, not, you know, wasn't legible, and so I reached in there to see if there was a cap on the laser and touched the laser, and it wasn't hot at all, so that was cool, and that I did not get burned.
That is pretty cool.
It's neat. It'll go through and do so. It does by layers, so you can color coordinate your layers to be different cuts or shading or just line work, and it'll go through, and on my computer it has black, red, and blue. The black and red will be just normal burns, as you can see here, which is the logo, and then the blue at the end is the actual circle, and that will turn the power of the laser up and cut through the actual wood, so that you have the keychain.
That's
it'll
really
pop
cool.
out. So it does all the cutting, it does everything. You don't have to try to cut or anything. When you're done with it, it cuts everything out. You take that piece of wood out, and they just pop right out.
That's really awesome. Yeah, it's the technology these days. I know in the garage, I'd been looking at the little plasma cutters and things like that. Always thought that'd be cool for the shop. But technology's coming. It's come so far. Used to, 10, 20 years ago, the thought of having a plasma cutter would be just out of the realm of most people, and now you can get those machines pretty inexpensive to do full on metal projects, or just cutting things in the garage that you need to cut, that you don't want to get the whole cutting torch out for, a more precise piece of equipment. But tools are awesome. We always try to keep different tools, and
they do sell Falcon also, or Creality, or
yeah.
Creality. I can never say it right. I just call it Creality. Creality. They also make a very big, a large machine that you can do like huge signs with, and all different kinds of stuff. And it's that was pretty neat as well. Those get a little more pricey, but they are if you're into that thing, and that's a lot of people own shops and make money and do things like that.
So full on big metal projects then.
Yeah, it's cool. And they do have ones where you can cut like actual metal, similar to that sign you guys got me.
Yeah.
You can make things like that. I was telling Kristen earlier, you can actually take, which I thought was cool, is you can take like family photos, and you can actually put them into that program, and it will burn your family photos onto the wood. So you can have like full on portraits, and the higher quality of the photo, the more quality of the burn will be. So you can. I haven't done any yet. I want to experiment with it and try it, and maybe we'll be able to get that on there. But I did fool around and do some pre-made projects, and that's the other cool thing, is it's not just pictures that you can do. You can do. I mean, this thing will cut out puzzles and things that you can build, and
that would be really cool for the kids.
Yeah, there's all kinds. I was looking on there. It's obviously it's Halloween theme right now, since we're about Halloween time, and there's all kinds of lanterns and skeletons, and I mean, this thing, it does all kinds of cool stuff like that. So
that would be neat, little tiny wooden puzzles, but yeah, it's a really cool thing. Like I said, technology has just come a very long ways, and these companies have some really good tools, and we're excited to be able to try this thing out and maybe get better with it, and who knows what we'll end up with.
I sent you our logo.
Yes.
And I sent it to you as an SVG.
Yes.
Did that work?
It did. Yes.
Okay.
So it works with a lot of different types of files. SVG is what worked best for me.
For this logo stuff.
Yes. So because I tried a couple different ones in PDF and things like that, and I couldn't get it to burn correctly, and that could have been an issue on my end where I just didn't know. I know I was doing some research and Googling, and it had some files to download to help with using other different types of files in this, but SVG, I was able to just pop it in there, click the button, and move my project over to here. It was super easy, and it popped up, and obviously the only thing that I did to this, because the logo was already on there, was put the circle and I guess make it into a keychain. So I put the circle around it, the cutting lines and things like that. So
and they had some of those programs in there that had the pre-made shapes that you could use with it. So if you didn't want a keychain and you just wanted a square or an oval, there were pre-made
designs and things like that. Yeah, which is cool, because if you're like me and you don't know how to go on here and make every little detail and designs and things like that, it makes it super easy to go
symmetrical circles and and it's not horrible, guys. You would think it would be like a wood stove burning. There's very little fumes.
Yeah, on these, especially with the exhaust, even on the exhaust, you can't really see the smoke coming out of it. You can smell it a little bit from where it's burning,
but you can see it's not like all smoked up inside that case.
Now, when it starts to cut, it does get a little more smoky, and you'll hear the machine will sense. So the exhaust fan hasn't kicked into full gear yet. When it starts to burn, it'll sense that there's more smoke in there. You'll see a little bit more, and it'll pump it right out. But even when it does that, on little things like this, it's not bad at all.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like little birdhouse projects. It's just something like that, where if you had all your dimensions in for your wood, it would essentially cut out every little piece of your birdhouse, and then you could like put it all together, the roof and everything would be cut out.
Do you remember those little airplanes, little balsa wood airplanes that we used to play with as kids?
You
could do that with it. And then have you seen the cutting boards where they'll take grandma's recipe and engrave it into that?
Yeah.
So you could do that with that
so
too.
Now it's starting to cut.
Yeah, it's starting to cut the whole.
So this is like an old school wood burner that you would use by hand, but like it's
doing it with perfection.
Yeah.
Instead of the guy standing there with a little wood burner pencil.
So like I said, I have yet to do more than one or two at a time. So
this is a big learning thing.
Yeah. So they do sell. I don't have anything in here to hold the wood down. The one thing that I have seen is that sometimes when they go through the cuts, the wood might warp a little bit just from the cutting, and that has messed up a couple of my cuts. But I think that also stems from me not having the magnets or tape or anything like that to hold it down on the board.
And from my understanding, it was like a $50 add-on, I think, that a mat that goes in there and holds.
Yeah, so you can when you have it like this and the laser goes through and cuts through, it leaves a design on the actual underneath, and that I might have my laser turned up a little bit too high. When I did a pre-cut one where it had the power at 100% to cut through the wood, so that's what I left it on, and that's what I used on this because it's worked so far. Yeah. But they do sell like a little hexagonal piece that goes underneath.
Kind of raises it up maybe just a little bit.
Yeah, it raises it up some so it keeps it off of that base underneath, which might be something worth looking into. So we're through the second one and it has not worked yet. So fingers crossed, knock on wood.
Yeah. Right now it's going through the table and it's probably down there on the floor someplace.
Yeah,
so
I've got EA logos lasered onto my garage floor.
Probably maybe don't shake the table.
Hey, we're thinking about maybe tattoo designs. If you could get your arm in there and you could etch in some.
I've seen people do that.
No.
Yes, it's kind of crazy, and I don't recommend that. Don't do that, please.
Yeah, don't do that at home. Yeah. It's EA only.
Yeah.
So I know with I have a silhouette cameo, and whenever I do my cuts, I always tape. Even though I use a sticky board, I always tape my media down. Mm-hmm. Yes, because it will get in there and it does slide around. For me, anyway.
If anybody at home has ever done any of that stuff, like sticker decal cutting is probably the most tedious thing in the world. You're like weeding out all of the designs, and we've just had crazy times with decaling our trucks. So this is kind of still.
It's just like that, except it's just a different media and a different
material.
Yeah, and a different.
Guys, we like to do everything ourselves. Mm-hmm. If we can learn how to do it, we've just found that that's the best way, because if I get a truck that's messed up on a sticker, we can replace it. We're not waiting on people to do things for us. Same as this. If we find that this design is really cool and we can make a bunch of keychains, then we just feel like we can do them and get them out there. And it's fun. It's fun to learn how to do this stuff. If you've got the kiddos at home that want to do some of the crafts, once you get used to this stuff, you could have hours of fun in the evening with.
Yeah, and I can once this gets done, I can show you so they can see some of like how kind of the home screen works and how you can just pull
Yeah,
other people's
yeah.
crafts. Because there are people that make it or make things like this, and I think they have some developers and people that work for the company that make things and put them on there. And all the designs are free. You don't have to pay for the designs on this software. So this is the Falcon design space. It is the one that is recommended in their Falcon A1 handbook. You can also use one called Lightburn, but the Lightburn is more for like create it yourself. You can upload portfolios in there with like different SVGs that you have stored so you can use your own. But I found this one a little bit easier to use in my case. There are people that love the other one, and as in reviews that I read and Google reviews and things like that, a lot of people liked the other one more than this one, but for me, this is what worked.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have
for someone that's got the time to actually put into this to get through some of the programming, boy, you could really, the possibilities would be endless on things that you could make and design.
So something like this little fox here, hold it up.
Yeah.
So how cute would that be if you made a whole bunch of different little woodland creatures and then went to a baby shower and then everybody painted their own little fox thing with the outline there? Or
I asked, I was actually talking to Kendra about that for Laura's room. I was like, oh, we could do like all the Disney princesses or all the things like that for Laura. And
you could paint them yourself, or I mean, just think like a kid's birthday party. That would be great, or a church group or whatever.
There's just tons of things that you can do.
And they, like I said, they don't take long to do. I think that fox took 3.5, 4 minutes maybe.
That's awesome.
And I mean, you could probably do 4 of those per board.
Yeah.
So you would have, you do 3 or 4 or 5 boards, and you got 30 minutes into it, and you've got fun for everybody.
And something that somebody can take with them and keep for a long time. This is not like a paper project. Something that you just throw away. This is something that potentially you could keep for a very long time. And
I think, and like you said, the versatility of the machine. I mean, you have, like I said, you can do wood, but you also have the rotator. And when you get the rotator, it opens you up to being able to do the cups and Christmas ornaments. And I have my dad bought me a custom set of coasters.
Yeah,
that have my initial on them and our last name, and those are really cool. And so you can make those.
That would be really cool.
There's all kinds of stuff you can do with it. So I'm gonna
endless.
Keep trying to learn this and mess with things and hopefully get some different materials to use and just a lot of testing and things like that to get you guys some cool stuff.
Looks like you guys were saying too, doing stuff for parties. Like this is pretty small. Like to take this to a shelter house or to a get together someplace. This machine and a laptop, you could set this thing up and everybody could be involved in creating and watch it come out in just a few minutes. And
we're almost done.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
One last cut.
One last circle, guys. It has knocked out 9 of these in just no time flat. It's done.
Yep.
9 keychains ready to roll.
So then on these, almost lost one.
Almost lost the keychain.
On these, it cuts.
Wow, they just
they just come right out of there. Every now and then you'll get one that has a little bit
of a burr
stuck
on
in the back, but you just cut that right off and you're good to go. But and then, even the small ones in the center, you just pick them up and it cuts everything. So
the little tiny holes,
you now have the first 9 keychains
for the vending machine. The first 9 keychains. Hey, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So
wow.
And like I said, I'm still learning and things like that. So if you guys have any tips or tricks, or if you do this and know more about it than I do, please feel free to let me know in the comments, because
down below.
I read a lot of those. Kendra reads a lot of those, and we try to see as many as we can. And I would love to hear your feedback on what you guys think about these, or if you guys have ideas on what we should do next. Here, I'll set these out so he can get up close on some of those.
That's really cool, guys. Yeah, just something that we can put together and get out there for you guys. We're excited to have some merch over at the shop, and it really helps as far as not missing you guys, and you guys can get some goodies and support the channel. And no, we didn't cut through the bottom of it.
Nope.
Can't see my hand under the table.
Yeah, see how it does? It does these little circles. So I think I'm gonna have to do some more research on that to get those so they don't burn into that bottom. I'll probably order that piece just to have.
Just to see.
I'm gonna play around with it, do some more things, learn some more stuff, and try to
get better with it.
Yeah, Falcon A1.
Falcon A1.
Yes,
see,
Creality.
Falcon A1.
Falcon A1.
the creator herself is walking out the door,
Yes.
so we have to get this thing wrapped up. She's probably going to get you guys some more footage. Don't forget, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, don't miss those episodes. We do have some holiday seasons coming up, so we're going to try to do better with that stuff. But grab yourself one of these things. You could just have endless projects. And like Elijah said, don't forget to comment down below on things that you guys might want to see us make, try to make, put in the vending machine for you guys. I don't know of anything else that's...
I don't think so. I think that kind of covers everything.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up, get back to work, and look out for some cool things coming your way.